Greetings to all. Beta class 10 social science. We have started chapter 2 federalism. We have discussed about different features of federalism. Then we have discussed what makes India a federal country. Now we are discussing how federalism is practiced in India. Now, up to now in this we have discussed about the linguistic states, then language policy. Now I'm going to discuss with you about center-state relations. So let's start. Restructuring the center state relations is one more way in which federalism has been strengthened in practice. How the constitutional arrangements for sharing power work in reality depends on a large extent on how the ruling parties and leaders follow this arrangement. For a long time, the same party ruled both at the center and in most of the states, this meant that the state governments did not exercise their rights as autonomous federal units. So here we are discussing that if for a longer period there is the same parties ruling in the center and in some of the states means at both the places. So the center party it tends to dominate the state government due to the same party leaders they pass on some orders to the state government. So in this case the state government is not free to use its powers in its own way, because in such a condition the leaders of state parties they will follow the instructions of the center government. This So next is as and when the ruling party at the state level was different, the parties that ruled in the center tried to undermine the powers of state. In another case, if there are different parties are ruling at the center and in the states, so the center party it tends or it try to uh, overpower the state governments. In those days, the central government would often misuse the constitution to dismiss the state governments that are controlled by rival parties. This undermined the spirit of federalism, and in those times, the center government used the constitution in a wrong way to dismiss or dissolve the state governments. So it uh, the spirit of federalism was not practiced in a real sense. All this changed significantly after 1990. This period saw the rise of regional political parties in many states of the country. This was also the beginning of the era of coalition governments at the center. Since no single party got a clear majority, please underline this. Since no single party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha, the major national parties had to enter into an alliance with many parties, including several regional parties, to form a government at the center. This led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of state governments. What is coalition government? When no single party is able to prove majority, then it forms a coalition with some more parties, maybe with the two or more parties. So and proves majority with their help, and this kind of government is called coalition government. And in those times, after 1990, so when there was the no single party was able or were no single parties were able to prove majority, then they started forming coalition or groups with other parties, and then form the coalition government, and this kind of and thus they shared their power with other parties. This trend was now next page supported by a major judgment of the Supreme Court that made it difficult for the central government to dismiss state governments in an arbitrary manner. Thus, federal power sharing is more effective today than it was in the early years after the constitution came into force. After uh, this arrangement, the central government that was not free to dismiss or dissolve the state parties because state government, because at the center also they needed the help of other parties, so they started respecting other parties or the rival parties. Now see, linguistic diversity of India. Hanji, so let's start it. How many languages do we have in India? The answer depends on how one counts it. The latest information that we have is from the Census of India held in 2011. The census records more than 1300 distinct languages. Please underline this, 1300 distinct languages which people mentioned as their mother tongues. These languages were grouped together under some major languages. For example, languages like Bhojpuri, Magadhi, Bundelkhandi, Chhattisgarhi, Rajasthani, and many others were grouped together under Hindi. Even even after this grouping, the census found 121 major languages. Of these, 22 languages are now included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution, Indian Constitution, and are therefore called scheduled languages. Please underline this also. In the When we are discussing about the language policy, uh, then also we have discussed that beside Hindi there are 21 scheduled languages. So along with Hindi, 22. So here we are discussing the same, that there are 22 scheduled languages uh, in India, and these are prescribed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Others are called non-scheduled languages. In terms of language, India is perhaps the most diverse country in the world. Please underline this one also. In terms of languages, India is perhaps the most diverse country in the world, means the people speaking many languages are living here. A look at the enclosed table makes it clear that no one language is the mother tongue of the majority of our population. The largest language, Hindi, is the mother tongue of only 44% of Indians. Please underline this also. Hindi, mother tongue of only about 44% Indians. If we add to that all those who knew Hindi as their second or third language, the total number was still less than 50% in 2011. As for English, only 0.02% Indians recorded it as their mother tongue. Another 11% knew it as a second or third language. Now, see the diversity, lingual diversity of India. So, read this table carefully, but you need not memorize it, just do the following. So, these are some of the scheduled languages of India, and Hanji, these are the scheduled languages of India. 22. Hanji, now come on the next page. Hanji. Next is decentralization in India. Decentralization in India. So let's start with it. We noted above that federal governments have two or more tiers of governments. We have so far discussed the two tiers of government in our country, but a vast country like India cannot be run only through these two tiers. States in India are as large as independent countries of Europe. In terms of population, Uttar Pradesh is bigger than Russia. Maharashtra is about as big as Germany. Many of these states are internally very diverse. There is thus a need for power sharing within these states. Federal power sharing in India needs another tier of government below that of the state governments. This is the rationale for decentralization of power, thus resulted a third tier of government called local government. See, if we talk about diversity of India, so here we are discussing about the size. A country, a bigger country like India, here the government cannot be run by the center or state government, because some of the states they are as large as some of the countries even. So these are the some of examples are given here, or contrasting the area of our states with other countries. So to run the government in a smooth way, power sharing is required. This case we will discuss tomorrow in the next class. So what is your work today? To discuss the, yes, center state relations in India. And if you have any query, any question, discuss with me tomorrow in the class. Have a nice day.